I'm here with Scott Swaney of Team Osprey Packs, getting ready to race the Checkpoint Tracker Adventure Racing National Championship event this weekend in Moab, Utah. Scott, he's raced this year at the Adventure Team Challenge. He's been the 2009 24-hour triathlete champion. He's also raced in Furnace Creek, the 508, and most importantly, he's a new father. Scott, can you give our listeners a brief history on your team, Osprey Packs, a little info on your teammates, Travis Macy, Gretchen Reeves, and John Brown, and what they bring to the team?
Sure. Our team, Osprey Packs, was put together by the grateful support of Osprey, but basically we're racing in our backyard. It's 5 hours away from Denver, but still,
nice.
We wanted to race there. It's a beautiful spot. We spent a lot of time there. Basically, I was contacted to try to put together a team. Immediately, my first choice, almost always, is Travis Macy, good friend of mine, lives close by. Mm-hmm. One of the strongest racers in the States, if not the world, but more importantly, a great guy. One of these guys that when you get done racing with them, you go, wow, I had a great time with them, and we won, or we placed really well, or we just had a great time. And Travis brings to the team, even though he's the youngest guy on the team, I think by 10 years, I think he's only 27 right now, just a maturity that you just can't put any kind of quantifying label on, just because he's been around the sport. He comes from his dad, who's been around the sport since its beginning time, and he's just been there. And I can't stress how great it is to race with him. I mean, he's one of the best navigators I've ever been around. You just never feel like you're lost with Travis, and just a strong biker, paddler, runner, just a great guy to be around. And you never have anything bad to say about Travis. He's just always positive. I've raced with Travis probably about, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 times in the past, mostly 24-hour races around here. Raced against him, done my best to try to run him down. Typically, he outbeats us. And that brings us to John Brown, who Travis has raced with in the past for Solomon Crested Butte.
Okay.
John's one of those guys I personally haven't raced with, but I've raced against for the better part of 6-7 years now, probably. I always admired John. I always thought he was a calm, steady racer. You can obviously tell he knows what he's doing. Great mountain biker. I'm really looking forward to racing with him. I think do nothing but benefit me personally racing with this guy, because he just seems like he's such a strong guy. Always been very nice when I've met him. I think it's going to be fun. And
cool.
Reeves is our girl, but we would never just that, because Gretchen, basically, if we let her, will drive us into the ground on the bike.
Yes, I've heard she's quite the biker.
Yeah, she a former record holder at Leadville 100.
Yeah.
Won many events throughout the States and Canada and the world. I think she's the U.S. marathon mountain bike champion in the past a few times. She started racing with somebody else, but got on with our old team, Boulder Performance Network, and we raced a few races, probably 6 to 8 races together, 24-hour races. We did Moab Adventure Extreme. We're winning that until one of our teammates got very sick, and so we had to drop out literally 40 miles from the finish.
Oh, jeez.
We were winning that one pretty well. But great girl, one of my better friends. We have a great time just laughing at each other during the race. You really don't really have to think about her too much as being ever a weak link, that's for certain. In fact, you got to make sure that you're not the weak link around her. And just love it. And actually, this says a lot. We both are just looking forward to the drive to Moab together, because we just like hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
So this team is a bunch of friends. John and Travis and Gretchen have all raced together, and I've raced with Travis and Gretchen in the past. So looking forward to that. Most importantly, we look forward to going really fast. But we enjoy, and there's definitely a task at hand. But we all, when we got the chance to race together, everyone kind of jumped on it. I actually feel kind of in awe with this team. I'm the old guy on the team with not as much experience in the last year, just because I've kind of taken a year off to help raise my daughter's summer end, but definitely been keeping on the ball, so this should be fun.
Cool. Now, you're also a triathlete. There's quite a bit of crossover, or a substantial amount of crossover between the two sports with triathletes, dabbling in adventure racing and back and forth. How has that helped with your adventure racing game?
Well, for me, I was a triathlete first. Back in the 90s, I was a sub-2-hour international distance racer, and it helped out just because I knew speed and how to hurt myself. But my first adventure race, I jumped into one, not even a 6 or 12 hours, it was a 24-hour race, and oh, mama, that was difficult for me. But it definitely, the triathlons, I think, helped me out, but I think the adventure races helped me out more for triathlon now, just because it teaches me that nothing can stop you from getting to the finish line, even if you're not in first place. I've broken pedals, seat posts in triathlons and in adventure races, and you just learn to overcome.
Right.
The triathlons definitely have taught me just to be able to put my head down and hammer it, and that's great. But the adventure races have taught me to overcome any adversity out there, and I think that's far more than the triathlon.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I was talking with Doug of Team Techno Extreme, staff aseptic, and he mentioned you guys were on the radar for this event this weekend. What teams are going to be giving you guys a good run for your money and going to help keep you guys ahead?
Well, it's a 24-hour race, and no one is cocky enough to ever think that it's ever just a give me. That's for certain. Even like the Team Nike in their heyday were beatable. You definitely don't want to go in there going, yeah, everyone else is racing for second. We think that we have a pretty solid team, but we also think that there are other teams you got to watch out for. We're just going to do our own race, that's for certain. But teams like Techno, I know Kyle Peter and Sean Clancy from that team are pretty strong individuals. That they've been racing a lot lately. I don't know if that's good or bad for them, but that definitely is keeping them crisp.
Yeah.
Hopefully for them. Dart Noon, definitely always a strong team. We definitely want to keep our eye on them. We know that they're a great paddling team. Basically, an all-around strong team. Yeah. Hopefully, our ability to race in the desert will help us out pretty much there. Even some of the solo guys. I don't want to go on a limb here, but I'd like to win the whole thing outright. If we don't, it's because some other team is better than us, and that's acceptable. But definitely, we don't want to have anybody coming ahead of us. So it's not a cocky thing at all, because things can happen. Also, the team from Minnesota, I know they're a solid all-around team. They have my respect because from what I've seen of them, they're doing it for the right reasons. They like to be out there. They like to do it. They're not one of those factory-sponsored teams that just shows up and phones it in if they have to. I think they're always giving it. At Primal Quest last year, I was on a team that unfortunately had a teammate drop out on us in the last day, and I was happy to see that they moved into our spots and moved up in there and did really well. So they're definitely a team we'd like to keep our eye on, but we certainly want to run our own race, and Travis is really good about reeling it in and just keeping it real for yourself. I've been in so many races where you're fighting somebody the first 8 hours, and it's a totally different story 24 hours later. Yeah. So definitely run your own race.
Yeah, things definitely do change hands quite a bit with the 24-hour race, and it comes down to a lot of strategy and, hammering it, but strategy as well. Many of us have been following the Path to Championships events, the ups and the downs, and I know, your year with your newborn's been a little different this year for you. But I mean, what have been some of the challenges for your team, for the other teammates this year? Some of the personal high points that they've had.
For our team, we've had, none of us have raced together this year. I don't believe. Travis has raced in Europe a couple times. John as well. Gretchen was in China with Nike. They all kind of jump on other teams here and there. I think the biggest challenge is just trying to, unfortunately, with adventure racing, trying to keep with one steady team.
Yeah.
And I mean, that would be awesome to be able to race with the same team for a couple of years in a row and get to know all the nuances of each other and weaknesses and strengths and build on that. I think that's probably our biggest challenge right now is we don't race with each other that much. Mm-hmm. But everyone is pretty easy going on our team. You're not going to see any flare-ups or anything like that.
Right.
So everyone knows that there's a finish line and how to be cohesive to get to it. Mm-hmm. The ups and downs are just life this year. I had 2 inches of my clavicle cut off and had to have my shoulder surgically put back on. That was kind of painful for a few months there, and I still don't think I can throw a football that far. But I'm an adventure racer, so who cares if I can throw a football that far? So, I just hope there's not too many portages in this race because I don't want to carry a kayak that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been tough. Just life. But we all love to race with each other. We all love being out there.
Yeah. So
I think that's enough. We're out doing what we love and having fun in a place that we love, Moab.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been good.
That's great. Yeah, and I think what we were speaking to earlier prior to this was that you guys have been to some really cool places. Adventure racing has taken you to some cool places.
Some amazing places. But every sunrise during an adventure race is still the greatest thing in the world. For beyond the obvious reasons, the big heater keeping you warm. It just reminds you that you just did something that was spectacular throughout the night.
Right.
Even though you probably hated every minute of probably doing like some kind of trek through bush that you didn't like, or through the desert here or whatever. But we all love going to Moab. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we get to race in Moab is great.
Yeah. The race for the championships this weekend, it's been quite an exciting one to follow. From the start to now. I know you guys have had teammates your teammates have been all racing separately, and you guys are gelling together now. But it's been very exciting to follow all the teams and what's going on. Any words you'd like to share before going into the championships this weekend?
We're really excited about doing this. It's kind of unique or great to hear, because my teammates, I'm in awe of my teammates. This is like almost like fantasy camp for like a hockey guy or a baseball player to say, wow, I'm racing with these great people. Yeah. And then I realize they're my friends. Mm-hmm. And this is what's always drawn me to adventure races, because I'm racing with people who are amazing athletes and who are also my friends, and they're very seasoned. You'd think they'd be jaded with this. Mm-hmm. My teammates are pretty stoked about doing this race, and I love getting emails from Travis saying, hey man, I can't wait to do this. It's been too long, I haven't seen you in a while. And Gretchen and John as well, who I've never raced with, but we've known each other for a couple of years, just really looking forward to this, and just being enthusiastic. That's like half the energy just to get to the starting line, which is great. Yeah. Beyond the fact that we get to race, and we get to race with a great team, Osprey Pack, who's been really, really generous with us, and we love our pack. So thankfully, that's a good thing because they fit so good. Yeah. There's nothing like racing with a pack that doesn't fit well, especially when you have a bad shoulder like mine. But I just love the fact that I got these guys who should be jaded about racing, who are still excited every time. That's cool. And that's just one of the really big draws of this. And Will, putting on from Gravity Play Sports, putting on this race, I can't say enough about him. I love the fact that he's passionate about this, putting on a good race. We know there's going to be some good rope section to it. We know there's going to be some good trekking, and we hope there's going to be some world-class mountain biking in there. Don't think you're in Moab. Yeah. And we're just looking forward to giving her. So. Awesome. Cool. Well, Scott, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight. I know, your schedule this year has been crazy. You've had, your time is very limited, with your 8-month-old and all that. So thank you very much for sharing some time with us. I appreciate it, Joel, and thank you for picking us and